Hello everyone, welcome back to Learning for Fun. In this series, Math for Fun, we teach you tips and tricks to make math easier. These are the follow-up questions from last time. The answer to the first one is 21. And the answer to the second one is 37. These both covered concepts that we learned in the last video. So if you got different answers or if you want to learn that concept, you can go back and watch the last video. In today's video, we're going to be covering factors. Okay, so now we're going to teach you some factoring tricks to see if each of these numbers is a factor of a much larger number. For 2, you just look at the last digit. If the last digit is even, then 2 is a factor of that number. If the last digit is odd, then 2 is not a factor. For 3, you just add up all the digits, and if they're a multiple of 3, then 3 is a factor of that number. For 4, you look at the last 2 digits of the number, and if they're a multiple of 4, then the entire thing is a multiple of 4. For 5, if the last digit is either 0 or 5, then it's a multiple of 5. For 6, you just have to combine the rules for 2 and 3. So the number has to be even, and it has to be a multiple of 3. So if you add them up, you can check. 7 is a bit tricky, so we'll skip that for now. 8, you look at the last 3 digits, and if they're divisible by 8, then the entire number is a multiple of 8. 9 is the same as 3, except when you add it up, you have to make sure that the digits are divisible by 9. And 10, you just look to see if the last digit is a 0. So now for the factors of 7. This one is a bit trickier than the rest. For this one, you have to take the last digit of the number, and then you have to subtract it from the rest of the digits of the number. And if that number is either 0 or a multiple of 7, then the entire number is a multiple of 7. So for example, we have the number 121 here. We take the 1 and we multiply it by 2 to get 2. So now we take 12 and subtract 2 from it to get 10, which is not 0 or a multiple of 7. Therefore, 121 is not a multiple of 7. Now there is also a nifty little trick for the powers of 2. So if you notice, for 1, we just looked at the last number. For example, 42. To find out if that's a multiple of 2, we look at the last number and it is even. So it is a multiple of 2. For 4 can be written as 2 to the power of 2. So we look at the last 2 numbers. So then, for example, in 1064, we look at the 64, and 64 is a multiple of 4, therefore 1064 is a multiple of 4. For 8 can be written as 2 to the power of 3. So we look at the last 3 numbers. For example, 20,128. So 128 is a multiple of 8, therefore 2,128 is a multiple of 8. And you can keep on doing that. So 16, it would be the last 4 numbers, 32, it would be the last 5, and so on. So here are our first 2 examples. For the first one, is 875 a multiple of 7? So we just use our factoring tricks. Take 5 and multiply by 2, and we get 10. Then we take 87 and subtract 10 from it to get 77. 77 is clearly a multiple of 7, therefore 875 is a multiple of 7. Now the next one, is 786 a multiple of 6? Now for 6, you have to find out if it's a multiple of 2 and 3. Both of them have to be correct. So because the last digit is even, it is a multiple of 2. Now we add them all up to see if it's a multiple of 3. 7 plus 8 is 15, plus 6 is 21, which is a multiple of 3. Therefore, 786 is a multiple of 6. Now these 2 examples were relatively simple because they're only 3 digits. But you can use these factoring tricks for numbers in the millions or billions or even trillions. You just have to be careful about adding them up and remembering which trick is which. So this next one seems a bit more tricky, but we just have to remember our factoring methods. So we have to find a number a such that 3AA1 is divisible by 9. Okay, so our factoring method for 9 is that when you add up all of the digits, the sum should be a multiple of 9. So let's just do that. 3 plus 2a plus 1 equals a multiple of 9. So then 2a plus 4 equals a multiple of 9. So now let's just try out some multiples of 9. 2a plus 4 equals 9. So then 2a equals 5. That can't work because then a would be a fraction, and you can't have fractions for one digit. So then let's try the next one. 2a plus 4 equals 18. So then 2a equals 18 minus 4, which is 14, and then a equals 7. So then, yeah, a would equal 7, so then it would be 3, 7, 7, 1. And that would be our answer. So remember, when you're doing these, just don't focus too much on the variable. Just remember the factoring thing, and then just do it intuitively. These are some follow-up questions that you can take to make sure that you learn the concept well. The first one is, find a number b such that 4, 5, b1 is a multiple of 3. And you have to find the lowest value of b, because b, it could be multiple numbers, but you have to find the lowest value. Number 2, find a number less than 100, which is also a multiple of 3 and 5, and that the sum of its digits is odd, and the number itself is odd. So you can post the answer to these in the comments, and if you need any help on these or other follow-up questions, you can say that in the comments as well. And remember, this is the channel where we teach you magic tricks with an X to make math easier. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.